So for the Reddit post of the day, we have an inside look of a person who has distribution and the prices they are having to pay for the reprinted products that we've heard of, the Paldea Evolved booster boxes, Obsidian Flames booster boxes, Twilight Masquerade booster boxes, Surging Sparks booster boxes, and also supposedly Paldean Fates booster bundles. But for this example and this person, it's the Twilight Masquerade booster boxes. And I think this post really is I think, piece of, I guess evidence that some people may need to see to show, I guess, reprints and why they're not going to do what some people think they are, which is crash prices. And, this whole reprint talk, it was honestly sort of fun to hype it up, making videos about it. That whole news when, everybody said, oh, this one dude is lying about it. And then when everyone found out it was true and everyone went crazy, it was a fun time. But now that we actually have information, at least from one source, obviously there's plenty of other people that have distribution. There's a lot of other distributors. So, this is just one piece of information, but it shows something about reprints that some people don't understand. And it's that, prices on reprints, they get marked up. And especially in markets like these, when, the secondary prices, the market price for these products are like really high, distributors aren't going to, just charge stores wholesale pricing like they did at like new releases, because I'm pretty sure for new releases they were required to sell, I think, at a certain price, and then after that they can sell kind of whatever. I believe that's the case. And you can see here with this reprint, supposedly it's for that because you can see the date ordered is March 8th of 2025, so that's pretty recent. Look at the price. So I guess before we go into this, the title is I Own a Hobby Shop. Here's a look at the distributor prices today versus last year for Twilight Masquerade. So let's just, I guess, go down. I know you guys have probably already looked at all this stuff, but first, they ordered one box. Now, I'm kind of surprised they're only ordering one box, I guess, even back then when... This is during the time Pokemon was not popular. And you can see by the cost here, you can see they ordered at $92.95. Now, is this before the set was released? I'm honestly not really sure the release day of Twilight Masquerade. This could be on for, I guess the release day. I'm not really sure. But you can see the cost here is $92.95, which is pretty much, wholesale pricing. Or basically, that's, I'm guessing, what, wholesale pricing is for this person, because obviously, varies between, I guess, distributors and, I guess, people's accounts, because I know some people have different costs. This person paid $92.95, which is normal, right, for, wholesale pricing, and they only bought one. Now, I don't know why they only bought one. Maybe that's all they were allocated. Not really sure, but they just bought one. And then, a couple months later, they decided to buy just one more box. Again, not really sure why they just bought one more. Maybe that's all they're allocated. They paid $109, and this was even when Twilight Masquerade wasn't even that crazy, right? It wasn't a $200+ box at this time, but they still marked it up. They marked it up to $109, and that was before the craze. This is during July. This was before this whole boom thing, before we even knew about really, Surging Sparks. That was before that. So you got to think about it. This was happening from the start. But now, today, with this reprint, they're having to pay, and they bought two, $159 per box, which is basically MSRP for the booster box. Now, before you guys comment, say, oh, well, this is just one person stuff. I get it. This is just one piece of information. This is from one distributor. I know different distributors, and I've, watched other videos of people who have distribution. It ranges. Some distributors are charging more for some products. Some of them are charging less for some products. It's all across the board. But this just goes to show, I guess, why these reprints aren't as big of a deal as people are making them seem. And you also have to think about the amount people are getting allocated. The fact that Pokemon also has reprinted multiple products. Each product they're reprinting, they're not printing mass amounts of each booster box. And also, I guess, the Paldean Fates booster bundles. They're most likely, reprinting small quantities of each to just distribute, the supply of these products, I guess, somewhat equally. Maybe they're going more heavy into other ones. But the fact that they're just not reprinting one set, I really think this reprint is really going to do nothing, especially when you take into account what we're seeing here with the marked up prices that distribution is charging stores. Taking that account too, I just don't think there's going to be that much supply these stores are getting. And whatever supply they get, they're probably paying above wholesale for what they're actually buying. And in this case, this person is literally buying at MSRP. So right now, Twilight Masquerade booster boxes, I believe, are I think around 220 or around there. So think about it this way: this store, or any store, let's say they have to buy this cost at 159 or 160, just say MSRP to make it easy. Why would that store sell any less than what the current market price is at 220 if they're paying 161 MSRP? Because that means that, the margin or whatever is $60. Obviously, you have to take into account other costs if they're selling it online and all these other sorts of things. Why would they sell it for any less than market? Because their margins, even then, paying 161 or MSRP and then having to sell at 220, even that's not the greatest thing ever. Like, it's all right. And these stores are probably not getting much. I mean, this person ordered two, and like I said, I really think since they are reprinting multiple products, I think just in general, these reprints for each product aren't going to be huge. Why do you think the prices are going to crash? It's most likely not. We might see slight dips. Yes, that's possible. But other than that, I don't see this reprint doing anything. And I feel like this screenshot right here in this post really goes to show the reason why. It's because distributors have the power in their hands to charge stores whatever they want. And guess what? In this market, stores will buy every single box they can. Obviously, to increase their spend with their distributors, but also because getting anything, from distribution is like impossible. And when you have this chance of a reprint, you're gonna buy whatever you can, even if it is marked up. And you could say, oh, they're the distributors are scalpers. Well, what are you gonna do? Not buy anything? Every other store is gonna buy it if you don't want it. So everyone's gonna buy this. And also, you take in the other factor. Everyone now is ordering Pokemon. All this stuff combined that I've talked about, the increased prices from distribution that stores are having to pay, the fact that Pokemon is reprinting many different products across the board, meaning that each product isn't going to probably be printed pretty heavily because they're spreading their printing power between all these different products. And also taking into consideration that many stores that used to not order Pokemon are now ordering Pokemon, prices aren't going to crash. Like I said, small dips, sure. But the whole thing with reprints and people, obviously people were really excited about that reprint news. Like I said, it was fun to talk about it, but it's not going to do much. And if it's really pretty consistent across the board, where, let's say Paldea Evolved, Surging Sparks, where booster boxes are costing MSRP or more. I've heard some people having to pay, I think, closer to 200 for some other, boxes. I'm, assuming Surging Sparks. Yeah, I mean, why would a store want to undercut the market at all when they literally just sell for market? None of these stores are going to probably do that. And if they do, business-wise, I don't think it's very smart, because you can sell at market price at right now for any of these, and it'll sell within a few days, even within an hour. Like, some of the stuff just flies off the shelves. So I don't think stores are going to do that. I think stores, whatever they get from this reprint, they'll probably sell some, maybe keep some, because who knows when the next reprint is coming. So yeah, I just think this is a perfect example and a perfect post to talk about, because we know about this reprint, why this is not going to do much. So let's just read some comments and we'll end the video. The most money in this hobby is made by these unnecessary middlemen absolutely taking advantage of these prices. It's insane that TPCI is allowing this to happen. So I don't know about unnecessary middlemen. I guess you could say Pokemon could just ship, every single order to every single of these stores by themselves. But you think about the logistics, that's a lot for Pokemon to have to do. So that's why they have distributors where they just, obviously ship to, a few different distributors, or how many ever there are across the country. And then they split up, that work of shipping to each individual LGS in store. I don't think people understand like the logistics side of that. Like to do that, it would be pretty extreme, and I think Pokemon would have to spend a lot of money being able to have that power to do so. So I feel like it's not like an unnecessary middleman thing, considering how big of an operation they have. So I wouldn't say it's unnecessary, but I could agree that TPCI, they maybe should have some rules with how much they're able to upcharge. That could be a thing. But I wouldn't just automatically call distributors unnecessary. Geez, man, I think it's time to partner with a new distro. We just dropped one of ours for pulling this stunt too. Dropping a distro sounds pretty crazy to me. I feel like to get in distribution now is so hard, and I feel like what distribution is not marking stuff up. So I don't know if this was a smart move, but hey, if you were really unhappy about it, I guess you can go ahead. But yeah, I feel like just distro now because everyone wants to open a Pokemon card business. I feel like just ending a relationship with a distributor. Obviously, I don't know how much spend they have with the distribution, how much how long they've been with that distributor, but I don't know if that was a good move. That's all I'm gonna say. I guess no one's really, I guess, I'm talking about what I'm talking about, where I'm saying that's maybe not the greatest idea. A lot of people are giving some suggestions, but hey, maybe it's not that hard to get distribution. I don't know, but based on what I'm hearing, a lot of people want distribution now, so I feel like it'd be kind of hard, but maybe they're able to get another one. I don't know. This is why reprints won't affect booster box prices very much. Edit. Won't at all. And this person responded, reprints won't affect booster box prices because distributors won't let it, and TPCI simply isn't printing enough to force them down. If you bought booster boxes for $60 from TPCI for years and were selling them for $85, $95, making just $25 to $35 a box, then all of a sudden you could start selling the same boxes for $150, making $55 to $65 a box. Wouldn't you do whatever you could to keep the prices up? There's simply too much demand right now. If store A won't buy them at $150, stores B, C, and D will. That's exactly what I said. If they somehow run out of stores willing to buy these prices, they won't. They'll approve new counts and be like, if you want product, these are the prices, take it or leave it. And if someone's trying to start a new shop, they're going to take it in to have product to sell. I heard that distributors are now also selling their stuff straight to consumers at market also. They are eventually going to cut y'all out in stores and cause stores to shut down. It's extremely sad what's happening to you guys. My fingers are crossed that things get better. I really wish I had picked up more Twilight Masquerade when the boxes were so cheap. The Ogre Ponds have really grown on me. Yeah, I remember when Twilight Masquerade boxes were about to reach MSRP and they dipped back down to like 140s. And I really thought Twilight Masquerade, it saw like pretty fast growth and it started to dip and everything else was going up. I really thought it was going to stay down there. But, the Greninja the whole time was like $300, so I guess it didn't really make much sense why it was so cheap. But, yep, now they're above $200. This is why I don't get the hate towards LGSs selling at scalper prices. Distributors are scamming everyone in the hobby unless you're a big box store. I've had multiple stores tell me their distributor is wanting them to buy at these types of prices. Yep, everybody across the chain is scalping. Whatever you want. I hate the word scalper honestly now because it's so overused and it's lost its meaning. But everybody, it's like everyone is upcharging, regardless of where you go. The only place that's not really upcharging is like big box retailers, but everyone else is upcharging. So if stores are having to buy these reprints at these prices, and you go inside of that store and they're selling at market price and it's over MSRP, what do you do? Get mad at them? They're buying at MSRP. You want them to sell at MSRP and lose money? It's this whole space and how it works right now. I know it sucks, but for people that just automatically start bashing stores for having prices for certain items, I think some people need to do a little bit of research and understand the situation and why stores are charging this much. It's because stores are not buying at wholesale. For new releases, sure they are. But at the same time, they're not getting as much. I've talked about this many times. You got to think about, these stores relying on these new releases to make money. They're not getting as much. Is it really, being a scalper charging a market price? It goes back to that whole thing. But this is just an insight of this reprint from one source and how, looking at it this way, prices are not going to be affected much. And hopefully you guys did not sell out of all your products thinking that this reprint was going to do some major damage. I did not sell a single thing because of this reprint, because I knew that it wasn't going to do much because of just knowing that distributors were going to upcharge and that people, they're probably not going to get much anyways. So that's all I want to talk about here today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.